Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening. Thank you for downloading. And thank you for subscribing to the latest edition of the 12 Kyle podcast. I am 12 Kyle. Check this out. um, I don't particularly care for Facebook. I have a Facebook account. Um, Probably much like you, I've had Facebook for a while. But every now and then Facebook has some type of uh situation where I'm like, okay, this is cool. I can deal with it. And, I'm kind of off and on with Facebook. Um, Nonetheless, I came up on this thing that I saw a couple of years ago, and I actually blogged about it on my blog. I have a blog. I don't really write on the blog that much anymore. In fact, I probably haven't written on it in a while. But nonetheless, there was I guess, kind of like a little challenge or whatever like that, and it's called it was like the high school challenge or something like that. And it's just 21 questions, and you're supposed to answer the 21 questions about your time in high school. So I was like, you know what, that might not be a bad idea to blog about. So I made a blog about it, and now I'm going to change it into the podcast. Um, so yeah, and it basically, the way that it works, you answer these questions, and when you answer the questions, the longer that you've been out of high school, the better it is, because you can see the differences between how people are, as far as their experiences. Because, if my kids answer this, their experiences and what they did for when they were in high school, it's going to be a little bit different, because obviously they had the internet and all that crazy stuff. They had cell phones. We didn't have that back in the 90s. So yeah. And as you can see, if you're watching on YouTube, I am a proud graduate of Wilson High School in Florence, South Carolina. Graduated in the year of 1991. So yes, I am old. um, but yeah, the longer that it is between the time that now and the time that you graduated, the more challenging and the more interesting this 21 questions will be. So it's 21 questions. So here we go. Right. Question 1. Did you know your spouse in high school? Well, the answer for me is no. Sharice and I didn't meet until I got to college. We both met at South Carolina State University in Orangeburg, South Carolina. Question 2. Did you carpool? No. Well, I guess you could say we didn't call it carpooling. No, we called it catching a ride. So I want to say my sophomore year, my freshman year, I rode the bus. And my school, Wilson, from where I lived, Wilson might be 2 miles from where I lived, maybe, if that. It wasn't far. Like, I mean, I could walk to school, but I wasn't walking to school. That's not happening. And then, I mean, Florence, South Carolina is not a big place, relatively speaking. Especially when you compare it to where I live in Atlanta now. But no, it was within walking distance, but I wasn't walking. I mean, if I walked to school, it'd probably take me 20 minutes, I guess, to get to school. But no. Carpool, yes. I rode the bus my freshman year. My sophomore year, I caught a ride, if you will. I ride with my boy Joey, who lived across the street. By the time I was a junior and a senior, I want to say I rode with Zell, my boy Zell, who's been on here before. Yeah, I think I mostly rode with Zell. I rode with Jay Fresh a couple of times. I didn't have a car. I mean, I had access to a car, my mom's car, but yeah, just caught a ride. I really wasn't into riding the bus after that. Even though the bus ride was cool, but it's just, you're not riding far, so you're just on the bus. Question 3. What kind of car did you have? So when I did get the keys to my mom's car, because I got my driver's license when I was, let me back up. I had been driving probably since I was 14. I think I got my license at 15. And when I got my license at 15, like, I wasn't going like, driving to Columbia or Charleston or anything like that. But like I would drive around Florence. Your first couple of trips, of driving is just, your mom just sends you up the street to the store around the corner. Shout out to Pat's. um, you go up the street just to, get some bread or something. You weren't doing a whole bunch of traveling up and down I-95 or anything like that, or I-20. Um, but yeah, it was just running errands, that type of thing. But yeah, I started driving relatively speaking, I started driving early. Um, but when I did get the keys to the whip, we had I don't want to say it was like an 88 Nissan Sentra. Um, and I love that car. Love that car, man. We always had like, as far as I can remember, we always had like Nissan Sentras. I don't know what my mom, I don't know what her thing was with Nissan Sentras, but we had quite a few Nissan Sentras. And my first car that I got in college was the car that she gave me was a Nissan Sentra. The first car that I bought, if you follow the podcast, was a like a 89 Nissan Sentra hatchback. So first whip was a Sentra. So, um, always had Sentras. And ironically, I've never purchased a Sentra since then or a Nissan. Um, so yeah, that was the car. Question 4. It's Friday night. Where did you go? Well, the game, football game or the basketball game. Uh, where I'm from, football and basketball in high school is huge. So that was a big thing. I played, obviously, as many of you know, or maybe you don't know, I played high school football all the way from my freshman year all the way through through my senior year. And so Friday nights was, if we had a football game, obviously I'm going to the game, but the biggest thing was after the football games on Friday nights, we had a home game, we'd have a school dance. And you wanted to go to the school dance because we almost always had a school dance after the home football games. And you wanted to go to the dance, especially after we won. Now, if we took a L, you ain't really want to be around there. You just ain't want to. At least for me, I can't speak for anybody else. I didn't want to be around a whole bunch of people after we lost because I was pretty much pissed off at that point. But yeah, I would love to go to the school dance. And the school dance always lasted from, like, if the game ended, like let's say at 9:30, we get back to the school, you shower, for those who did shower, because some of my teammates say shower. You shower, change clothes, and now for our school dances, you had to be dressed up, right? What I mean by dressed up is you had to be in a shirt and tie and slacks. You couldn't have on no sneakers. You couldn't have on no jeans. You couldn't do none of that. Like that was something that wasn't something we allowed at our school. So, and it was strict. And I mean, like, shirt and tie. Now, when you came in with the shirt and tie, like a lot of times, do the tie, and then after they get in, they'll take the tie off or whatever like that. Then somebody from administration tell you, hey, put your tie back on. Some dudes take the tie around their head. But it was just to keep out the element, if you will. So thugs ain't gonna get put on their Scooby Doo's and come to a dance and mess it up. Nah. So it was pretty smart. And I went to a predominantly black high school. I mean, it was probably, at the time that I was there, it's probably 90% black, maybe another 10% white, if that. So yeah, the school dance was everything. So the thing that I tried to do was, get to the dance, and the dance is always ended at midnight. Always ended at midnight. So you had about 2.5 hours to get busy. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to make sure that I got to the school dance and got a couple of slow drags in. Question 5. What kind of job did you have? That answer was simple. None. I never had a job in high school. If you follow the podcast, I talked about my first job. My first job didn't come until after, almost until the point where I had almost graduated from South Carolina State University. So no, I didn't. I played football and I had my other activities in high school, and I did not have time for a job. And I was blessed, really, because like I knew some kids who like really had to work. Like, and it's funny because I tell my kids all the time like how privileged they were, as far as like the school that they went to, high school. And I'm like, I went to high school with some kids who literally, if they didn't come to school, like they didn't know when they were going to eat because they knew that they were going to eat at school, but outside of school they might not eat. And that's not to say like we were in, the projects or anything like that, but I mean like we went to school with some kids who were definitely less fortunate, and it made you, appreciate the things that we had. At least for me it did. Um but nah, I didn't have a job in high school. So I know some kids who, had a little bit rougher backgrounds. Um so they were called upon from their parents to they had to work. Like you had to get a job so that you could help your mom, with the rent or the bills or whatever like that. And um I got a home, I'm not gonna mention his name. I got a homeboy who was, man, this dude was, I tell anybody, for people who saw me play high school football and that they thought I was nice, my boy was nice. He was nicer than me. Like I would watch him in practice and I'd be like, man, yo, this dude is cold. I mean, he was a cold, we both play wide receiver and he was a cold ass wide receiver. And like, I want to say we were juniors going into our senior year. And he hit me. I saw him in the hall one day. I was like, yo, I'm gonna see you at practice. He's like, nah. He's like, I'm not going to practice. And I was like, what's up? He's like, I'm not playing no more football. I was like, why? He was like, I'm not playing football anymore, man. He said, I got a job. I was like, got a job? So I was like, you can still play football. He's like, nah, man, I'm working. He's like, man, I got to get this money, man. I got to help my mom. And I was like, damn, are you sure? Because like I was disappointed because I knew like one, he was gonna help our team, but like I literally saw this dude as somebody who could play college football at the next level. And playing with him motivated me because I loved the way he ran his routes, the way he caught the ball. He wasn't necessarily a big dude like me, but he was nice with it. And he just didn't. And subsequently, he never played high school. I mean, he graduated obviously, but his financial circumstances were different from mine. We Not that me and my mom and my brother had money because we didn't, but she didn't. I didn't have to go work. She said, you in high school, you should enjoy being a high school student. She's like, you got the rest of your life to work. And so we were in a position where I didn't have to work, but my boy did. But shout out to him. But yeah, Friday nights, that's what we did. Friday nights we went to the dance, and if you were lucky, you got your nice little slow drag or two. And then, like I said, job situation, didn't have a job, so I played football, and that was my job. And other stuff, extracurricular activities, that was pretty much it. Um, Number 6, were you a party animal? No. I mean, what is a party animal? If we're being honest, I don't think I was. I mean, like, I think I partied like anybody else would. Um, I went to parties, but I went to parties like, um, at school. I went to, a couple of house parties or whatever like that for my friends, but nothing, I wouldn't call myself a party animal. I didn't miss a lot of parties, but I went to my fair share of parties. I'll just put it like that. Um, Question 7. Were you considered popular? I think so. I think so. I wouldn't. I mean, I was a high visibility kid. I was in football, a lot of different extracurricular activities, student government. So yeah, I'm trying to be modest. Yeah, I guess you could say it. By society standards, yes, I was popular. Um, Number 8, were you in the band or the choir? Not in the band, but I was in the choir. I was in the honors chorus from my freshman year all the way through my senior year. In fact, little known fact, your boy made all state chorus. That's a long story, but so yeah, I could sing. I still sing, but just in the shower. I don't sing outside the shower. So don't ask me to sing. um, but yeah, chorus was dope, man. We were honors chorus was the show choir, so we did numbers and we traveled and that type of thing, and we had dance partners and stuff, and it was really cool. There probably are some videos out there of me in the show choir singing and dancing. If there are VHS tapes out there, please send them to me. Please do not disseminate them amongst the peons on Al Gore's internet. And actually, I would give you $20 if you could produce a tape of me in a show choir. That was a dope time, man. It was dope. I would love to just see it, just to see how we got down. I remember it, obviously, but I would love to see it. But then again, I don't have a VHS player, so I don't know how I would play it. Um, Number 9, were you a nerd? No, I wasn't a nerd. I was smart, but not a nerd. No, I wouldn't consider myself a nerd. Number 10, did you get suspended or expelled? Really? Do you guys think that I would actually get suspended or expelled based on what you know about me? Hell no. No, I wasn't I mean, this may come as a shock to you, but I wasn't a troublemaker. I wasn't a rebel rouser. I wasn't the guy that got into beef with people. No, I wasn't. I mean, like, I think the best way I could describe myself as a student at Wilson was I was a smart kid that knew he was smart, and I got along with people. And when it came to stuff, I would be mischievous, but I would get into enough trouble before the teacher would threaten to contact my mom. And then I stopped. So if I was talking in class, yeah, I'm talking in class. I'm chewing gum. I'm doing all the stuff you ain't supposed to be doing. But that's about it. I'm not being disrespectful. I'm not getting out of class. I did, no, I ain't do that. I ain't about to tell you I did that. No, I was a good kid. I was a good kid. So I never got suspended. Number 11, can you sing the fight song? No, I can hum the fight song. I do know the alma mater. We had to learn at Wilson High School. You had to learn the alma mater. Like, I remember, and it's weird because I thought that I was going to have, I think, did I learn that? I learned the alma mater in chorus, but our coach also made the people who did not learn the alma mater learn it, because he said the alma mater is what you're fighting for. You're fighting for Wilson High School on that football field. So it's imperative that you know what it is that you're fighting for. So he made the players that didn't know the alma mater, he made them learn it. So no, I don't know. I can't sing the fight song. I could hum it, but definitely know the alma mater. Let's see. Question number 12. Where did you go to lunch? Oh, that's simple. I went to lunch in the cafeteria. There was no, listen, again, I graduated from high school in 1991, right? I'm going to let you in on a little secret. There was no Starbucks in our school. There was no Pizza Hut. There was no McDonald's. There was no Five Guys in the school like there are in most schools now. So you didn't have your variety of food. Whatever they cooked in the cafeteria, that's what you ate, unless you bought food from home. Could we leave campus? As a senior, we probably could. There were some kids that left campus for classes and stuff like that, but I never left the campus, and I damn sure wasn't leaving campus to go get something to eat. Like, what you would do is, like, on the way to school, you stop by a little convenience store called Pat's up the street. So the store called Pat's, you stop at Pat's, you go into Pat's, boom, get you a honey bun, an iced honey bun, and like a Welch's grape drink, and maybe like some Ruffles potato chips, and that might be lunch. That literally might be your lunch. And then, if they had something that you like the rectangular pizza, you might get some of that. You might get the corn that was out of a can from 7 years ago. Or they might have hot dog. I never ate the hot dogs. The pizza was always slamming. French fries was cool, but I mean, like, there wasn't a variety of things. Like, you know how now you go into a school cafeteria, maybe you got your pick between chicken and fish or something like. No, we ain't had that, bro. We weren't that advanced in 1991. Um, Question 13: where is your high school? My high school is located in Florence, South Carolina. Um, there are three major high schools in Florence: uh, Wilson, which is my school, South Florence, and West Florence. The other two schools don't matter. It's all about Wilson. Nah. Yeah. So it's those three schools, and based on where you live, that's where you go to school. Wilson was and still is the predominantly black high school. At the time when I was in school, as I mentioned a little earlier, Wilson was about 90% black. I'm black, just in case you didn't know. Um, uh, South Florence probably was about 60-40, 60% white, 40% black. And I'd say West Florence probably was about 70% white, 30% black. I don't know what those numbers look like now, but I couldn't even tell you. Well, I probably could. I mean, my niece is, at the time of this recording, my niece is she's a junior at Wilson now. But that's how I was back then. Yeah. So yeah, that was my school. What was our mascot? That's question 14. The mascot is the mighty tiger. Our colors are purple and gold. Not purple and gold for the Omega Psi Phi, because our high school has been around at the time of this recording 140 something years, 47 years, I think, something like that. Wilson was established in the 1800s in my hometown, and it was the school that only the Negro children could go to. And it started out as this small little box of a room, and that was the only place where black kids could get educated. And obviously over a period of time, times change or what have you. But and my mom, both of my aunts, and I think one of my uncles all went to Wilson High School, not in the same building, because the building's changed or whatever. But no, my whole family. I had an older cousin, my cousin Eric, my brother Damon, who's 3 years behind me. We all went to Wilson High School, so it's a family thing. And the interesting thing about Wilson is that my family is much like a lot of people's families too. Is that you have a generation, and then you might have a second generation, and now you might be into the third and fourth generation of kids who have had family members go to Wilson. It is a institution. Really, really, I can honestly say that. Beautiful school, beautiful people. Number 15, if you could go back and do it over again, would you? Without a doubt. I'd go back to Wilson tomorrow if I could. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. And like the growth period from 9th grade to 12th grade was crazy. We saw a lot. We went through a lot. Unfortunately, we lost a couple of classmates. But that period of time was crazy. It was everything. If given the opportunity, I would definitely go back to Wilson. I know some people that high school wasn't their thing, and they didn't necessarily have a good time in high school. I don't have that story. I enjoyed each year, and for me, every year got progressively better. So 9th grade was dope, 10th grade was doper, 11th grade was crazy, and my senior year was off the chain. So if given the opportunity, I'd definitely do it again. Number 16, did you have fun at prom? Yeah. Prom was cool. I went to prom a couple of times. Prom is a little overrated, but I had a good time. I went as a server my sophomore year, and then my junior year and my senior year I went, and then I went once when I was in college. Prom was dope. I enjoyed it. We had we had a lot of fun. And I think the thing that always stood out to me was that you got a chance, even just seeing some of your classmates, like, and some of your friends dressed up in formal gear, like formal wear, like that's crazy. Like, I wish, well, I'm not gonna put these pictures up here, but if I could show you guys some of the pictures of some of my friends and some of my classmates, you would laugh at some of the hairstyles. And you know, even my hairstyle, man, I had the high top fade. I mean, I got a lot of hair now, but I'm not trying to wear a high top fade. But yeah, that was fun. Prom was dope. I wouldn't I would definitely recommend any kid going to prom at least once, because you don't want to. I mean, you're only in high school once. You don't get it. You can do college a couple of different ways, but you only get a chance to go to high school once. So enjoy it and soak it up. Um, Question 17: do you still talk to the person that you went to prom with? I wouldn't say I talk to. We're actually connected on we're connected on Facebook and IG. But I haven't talked to her in a long time. She's cool. She's cool. Um, Number 18. Are you planning on going to your reunion? That's a long story. I'll give you the short end. If we have a reunion, I'll go. I don't know if we're gonna have one. Um, my class, man, I love my class, man. We just got to get it together. We're getting there. I know it's been 30 plus years. We're getting there. So if anybody from the class of 91 is listening to this or watching this on YouTube, please believe that I'm down for whatever we can do as a class. So, but if we can make it happen, I'm definitely down. I'm definitely down. We have our challenges, from time to time, but I think for the most part we enjoy each other. Those that come and participate. I would love to see everybody. The reality is you're not going to see everybody. Sometimes there's situations where some people have issues with other people in the class. I don't have no beef with nobody, because I don't think I've done anything to anybody to have any beef with. That being said, if somebody had beef with me, I would like for them to tell me. But I've been I've been gone for so long. Like, I mean, like, I've been out of high school. We've been out of high school, since 1991. So I don't necessarily know what beef I could have had with somebody, or somebody would have had with me, or, beef that you would have with somebody else in the class. But, I can't speak on stuff that I don't know anything about. So I don't know anything about anything. So, but yeah, to answer the question, if we had a reunion, I'm in. I don't necessarily know that we're going to have one, but if we have one, definitely count me in. Question 19. Are you still in contact with people from high school? Of course, of course. My close friends from high school, man, I'm still down with them, all of them to this day. The closest ones to me, we talk or text every day. My crew from high school, every day. Every day. Any chance we get it. And here's the funny thing. Most of us don't live in Florence anymore. So when we get a chance, like if I'm going home to Florence, because Florence it's about a 4-hour drive from Atlanta, where I live. If I'm going home, I hit the homies up. Hey, is anybody going to be home this weekend? I'll be there. Blah, blah, blah. We went to we went to our homecoming game, football homecoming game last year. And it felt good because I hadn't been back to homecoming in about 9 years. And our high school homecoming is huge. I kid you not. The high school homecoming that we have could rival some small college homecomings. I'm not blowing smoke. Ask anybody about Wilson High School's homecoming. Shuts our little town city down. From everything from the parade to the tailgate to everything, the game. And if you follow me on Instagram, I posted pictures and videos last year. I mean, it is a dope event. Again, it's interesting because you have a lot of people. in a very small space, but then a lot of people stayed in this area once they graduated from Wilson, or maybe if they went to college and they went off to college, and they came back and lived, and the kids grew up there. Now their kids are at school there, or maybe their grandkids are at school there. Because you have some kids you have some classmates who have grandkids. But yeah, I still talk to my close friends from Wilson almost on a daily basis. Even the ones that I don't talk to, we're connected through social media. So, some of my classmates, some of the people that graduated, a year or two after me, some of my brother's class, because my brother graduated we graduated in 1991. He graduated in 1994. So I know a lot of his classmates. Social media, Facebook in particular, has allowed me to stay connected with a lot of those people. So while we may not talk, I'm connected, so I could, reach out to them. Question number 20. Did you skip school or class? No, I didn't skip school. I think we had a cut day one day during my senior year, and I can't even really say I cut school because I actually went to school and left. I think I was there for like an hour or two, and then we left. And I mean, like, we went to, I ain't gonna say where we went, but we went out and we had a good time. But it wasn't that crazy. But nah, but I've never cut class. I mean, like, why would I cut class? My classes were pretty cool. Other than geometry, I enjoyed other than geometry and algebra and any other math class that I took. The math classes sucked. But it's not because I sucked at math. I just didn't understand and like math at that particular time. Like, X plus Y equals Z, that makes no sense to me whatsoever, even to this day. And if you're listening, kids, you'll never see that shit again in your life, unless you're an engineer or math teacher. And what else? The Pythagorean theorem, I don't know what that is. I don't know why it means anything. Pi equals 3.14, blah, 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 blah. I don't care. And again, kids, I shouldn't tell you this for any young people listening to this podcast, but you'll never see this stuff again in your life. Never. So yeah. And last question, question number 21. How old were you when you graduated? I was 18 years old. No, I didn't skip any grades, but my birthday is in December. So I started basically a year behind other people who were born in 1972. But yeah, that's the podcast. 21 questions. Any other podcasters, if you want to take a shot at the 21 questions, hit me up and I'll save them, and I can shoot them to you so you can do them on your podcast as well. That's going to do it for me, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for checking out this edition of the 12 Kyle podcast. Remember, the podcast drops every Thursday at midnight. From time to time, we will drop bonus episodes on Sundays at midnight. Be sure to subscribe. You can listen to the podcast on any platform. You can follow us on YouTube and watch the videos. And if you feel so inclined, please, ma'am, please, sir, hit me up on Cash App. Money sign TWELVEKYLE. Again, that's going to do it for me. I'm your boy 12 Kyle. I'll catch you guys next time. 5G.